Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ari, and today is a special video. It's an HRT update. So here at the end of the week, I will actually meet my 3-month anniversary on hormone replacement therapy. I did a video a month ago almost about my 2-month update, so I'm going to try to do these monthly HRT updates because it seemed like that was something everyone was interested in. So I want to take a few moments and talk about some of the things that have changed, since the last video and since I started HRT. So one of the first things that everyone talks about on HRT is breast development, hence the reason for the slight wardrobe change. So as you can hopefully see just slightly, there is that good start to the breast development. In my last video, I talked about how it had started up, and it's definitely continued and it's progressed. But it is a slow process. It's not something that happens very quickly. You can see a little bit of where it started up, and it is starting to get a little bit more obvious. But obviously I still have quite a ways to go. But I'm not unsatisfied with the results being at the 3-month mark. Giving it time. I'm a skinny person. I always have been. And part of the development has to do with the fatty tissue. And I just don't happen to have very much. And I've always been incredibly skinny. Please do not send me some message about eating disorders and etc. because I don't have one. Everyone automatically thinks when you see the skinny person that somehow they have an eating disorder. No. I have a very high metabolism. I always have. So that's where I burn off a lot of fat. But taking that out of the equation, like I said, you can see a little bit where it's starting. Now, it's still at that point to where things are really tender, but it's now getting to that point where you can almost forget about it because it's not a constant tenderness, but I'll lean up against something like a file cabinet or something at work, and then that's when it will hurt a bit and get to my attention again. So a lot of good development starting up on that, and I'm really starting to feel a lot more comfortable in my own skin as things start to progress. Okay, so now I feel a little bit more comfortable because just standing there or sitting there in a cami is not the most comfortable thing for me. But anyway, so moving on from that, some of the other changes have been probably more subtle. I don't see a lot of the major skin changes right now, but that's more on the long term. So that's not something I've noticed major at this point. Maybe a little bit, but, that could also be in my head. I don't know if it's really there or if it's just me hoping. But I do feel like, I'm getting more comfortable in my own skin as I further transition. One of the big things for me is, how comfortable I feel out in public. So one of the things that I've done is, while, I wear pretty androgynous clothes out in public, but at the same time, it is, female clothes, something with, the feminine. And I'm getting more and more comfortable as I go through that, and I'm having those opportunities to where somehow I manage to pass in those moments. Not always, because I'm not under any delusions that I'm wonderfully passable, but I'm getting more and more of those moments, and I don't think it's just solely based on any of the physical changes that are happening. I think a lot of it has to do with how I'm feeling more comfortable in my own skin as I start to progress more and more, and that sort of helps me in the way I present myself, I think. So that's had one, major impact on me, just that feeling of being more comfortable. So that's part of it. Some of the other physical changes, they talk about where some of the, I've read on some forums at least, where some of the muscles, you lose a little bit of muscle mass, so things can change. There can be a little bit of hip pain, which I have had hip pain. I had leg pain within the first really few weeks of HRT, and that for the most part has went away. One of the other things that I've dealt with is my energy level has not been where it used to be. At one point in time, I could get up and go on very little sleep. Now, with the testosterone lower and the estrogen level rising, then I find myself getting a whole lot more tired, I think a whole lot quicker. So it's taking me a little bit of time to start adjusting to that and feeling, getting that energy back, with in my career I have to have. So yeah, I would also say that I'm probably a little bit more emotional than maybe I was before. I don't know how everyone's experience is. It's not like I'm, going off the deep end type of emotional by any stretch of the imagination. I've always been a pretty emotional person anyway, but I think I've noticed some slight changes, and I can sort of flip into that teary mode, unfortunately, a little bit quicker. And it's not only just negative things. I can watch one of those positive Facebook videos, and all of a sudden, it's got me tearing up, where before I'd be like, okay, well, video. So I have noticed a little bit on that. But that's the biggest portion of the changes that I've seen so far. But, even with these small changes, like I said, my confidence level has continued to rise. So if you are new in the process, like I'm still very new in it, the biggest thing to know is, the changes are going to start. You've got to give them time. You've got to let your body do its own thing. The way that things work for me are not necessarily going to work the same way. You may have quicker results. You may have slower results. But once you can start seeing that you're headed down the right path, that you're actually headed towards the goal, then I think it's a whole lot easier to just sort of accept that things are going to change at their own pace. You're going to start to see those physical changes when your body decides it's time. So anyway, that's a very short version of my 3-month HRT update. If you do have any questions or anything that I didn't cover that you wanted to ask about, feel free to ask in the comment box. Please do me the favor of clicking subscribe if you're watching this video. I would really like to grow this channel. And right now, I appreciate the people who have subscribed. It's a very small group. But for each and every one of you, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I want to see this grow. I want that opportunity to interact with you guys and see what it is that you have questions about, or what it is that your experiences are through this crazy process of transition. Or maybe you're not even trans, but you just want to learn more about the process that someone goes through. So please, click subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and you want me to do more HRT updates. Leave comments. Let me know what you think. Give me video ideas if there's something that you'd like to see me do. And by all means, share it with your friends. So anyway, that is the video for today. So in closing, my little quote that I like to use, which is from Kesha, "Don't let the bastards get you down." We're always going to have people that are going to put us down. Whenever you venture out to be yourself, there are going to be people who don't like it. But at the end of the day, you can only live for yourself. So don't let the bastards get you down. Bye.